by letting it be and experiencing in such a way that reveals what it is, reveals its meaning. We have an insight and understanding. That insight and understanding was bringing us closer to that ground without us trying to get closer. Bringing it closer by revealing what it is. That requires, of course, this requires a great deal of trust. Because for many of us, when we let our experience be what it is, see, is that at the beginning you're feeling a little sad. That's okay, good. Practice what Hameed said. He seemed to be a nice guy. He's not going to tell me anything bad. So I'll stay with my sadness. You stay with it, and you stay with your sadness. You don't let it interfere with it. I'm sad. You just walk around, feeling sad. After a while, you feeling sad. After a while, you realize you're really hurt. And after you feel really hurt, after a while, you're like, I'm really wounded. And if you still stay with it, okay, well, being a good student, I'll stay. I'm just being wounded. After a while, you realize being wounded, there is this chasm is open inside your heart. And it's, I'm going to fall off the cliff here. What happened? I thought it's going to be connected to non-duality. I'm falling off a cliff here. It looks really, really dark. And really, really deep. This is actually some of the good experiences. It's true, actually. For many of us, when we let ourselves feel sad, for many of us, we'll find out how your father beat you up. Or if you let yourself feel angry, you realize how somebody abused you or traumatized you. And these are very difficult, painful things to deal with, you see. And in fact, and the practice means, to let it happen. It's all connected. So it takes a great deal, not only kindness, a great deal of courage, a great deal of fortitude to be with the practice of non-interference. The way I myself learned about non-interference is when I first recognized the spiritual nature, and explain what it is, as a sense of kind of presence, a kind of beingness, kind of fullness, a richness that just is, that is not a construct or product of the mind, not a memory, not a reaction. Just recognizing it, I realized that true nature, this true nature, doesn't do anything to experience except be with it. That was the guidance. That whatever the experience is, that's what my true nature will do. So why will I do something else? Doing anything else will just take me away from the posture of my true nature. I'll be something else. So really the book is a presentation of this practice, this way of being with our experience that utilizes the ancient knowledge of this basic dilemma that our depth is what we're looking for, and how to realize it without getting away from it. And goes on to see, to reveal, to describe, and to point to the various ways we interfere that might not be obvious to us. Sheds light on the different ways we interfere, the ways we meddle, the ways we don't leave ourselves alone, the ways we're not kind to ourselves, the ways we're not vulnerable to ourselves. Because wisdom is just a matter of recognizing that is really enough at some point. So I think it's enough talking. So let's see if you have questions. When you have a question, you can raise your hand. When I point to you, the microphone will walk to you, and you can stand up and talk to the microphone. Okay? Over here.
Hi, Hameed. You talked about the unfolding and recognizing, understanding of a situation, or reaching to, maybe this was how my childhood was, or so forth. And I wonder what the difference is in the unfolding as to that and to having a story or already thinking, I know this is why this happened or how I feel.
I'm glad you asked that question because I didn't address that point. So when I say staying, being with the experience, with where we are, I mean not a matter of telling myself where I am, but to be immediately feeling it, sensing it, aware of it, so that my consciousness is with it, not in the sense there is this experience and my consciousness is there with it, but I mean with it in the sense of pervading it, my awareness completely penetrating it, feeling it from all direction. So it's a completeness, a fullness of being with the experience, which requires an immediacy, a felt immediacy. Felt immediacy, which means an openness and some kind of a non-defensive stance, non-resistive stance, and experiencing whatever is arising in not from a distant way, but in a very contactful, involved way. And that's a part of the difficult thing, is how to feel what I'm feeling, experience what I'm experiencing in a complete way, to be completely in it, within it, but not get completely lost in it. Because when I get completely lost in it, it will become an identification with whatever arising, which can then lead me to do something to my experience of one kind or another. But of course, what's required is the awareness. So the awareness penetrates everything. So it's not a distanced stance, and it's not telling myself where I am. It's really feeling and experiencing where I am at this very moment. It's always in the now. Why that process always happens in the now. And because where you are is where you are now, at this very moment. And that's what will reveal itself, to reveal greater depth or more possibilities. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. For me, it's not a decision. That's what I was trying to sort of present, is that if by God you mean the underlying ground of purity, then it's a matter of recognizing that when we say God contains the good and evil, from the perspective of that I am presenting, the ground is not separate of the good or the evil. The good, or what we call good and evil, are manifestations of the same ground. If we just stay with them, whatever it is we're experiencing, what we consider evil in us or good in us, if we let ourselves be with it without judging it, without acting it out in our life, but remaining with it in a steadfast way and letting it reveal itself, it will reveal its origin. And that origin, for some people, for you might call it God, because of its utmost purity, its sacredness. Because the ground is really a sacred ground. It's, in the sense it's holy, it's pure.